artists, creatives, designers, thank you so much for joining us today on DreamAloud Art. I am Miss Electra B. Y'all can call me Electra. Some people call me Dream, just because it says DreamAloud, okay? But my name is Electra. Okay, so if you're just browsing around and you're jumping on this IG Live, I encourage you to follow DreamAloud Art and follow our guest today, L. Dobb. And of course, he's tagged in this, so you will be able to find him. It'll be super easy. And I'm going to remind you right now that if you want to see the full interview, you're going to have to click the link in my bio, which will take you to YouTube, and subscribe, okay? That's where you can see these super long and fun interviews, okay? IGTV only has 15 minutes, okay? That's the cap. So make sure you subscribe to be notified. All right, let's jump right into it. Okay, so how you feeling today? You ready to roll?
Good, I'm ready to roll.
We got L. Dobb, AKA Larry, okay? Yes, and you know what's so funny about the IG, like just our usernames, is we get so used to using the username and everything, right? It's almost like a nickname, like growing up.
Yeah. And
you just know everybody by their nicknames, and it's like, you know what? I've been friends with this person, you know, on Instagram for 5 years. I don't even know who they are, like what their government name is and all of that. So Larry, go ahead and just let people know who are jumping on. They may have seen your work because they follow you a little bit, but break it completely down for even folks that are following me. They don't know what you do. So tell us exactly, what do you do as far as IG is concerned?
I do freelance art design and character illustration mainly. I have a very long background of just unintentional meetups with work and just design in general. I wanted to grow up to be an animator for Disney, and it just it just didn't turn out that way.
No problem. This is your journey. This is your journey, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it's just I was just on my Discord this morning, just kind of introducing, because we had some new people in our Discord, and you know, I'm not
on, what is it?
It's in my Discord. I got like a whole Discord community. Shouts out to them, by the way. If you guys are listening, hey, you guys, shouts out.
I'm completely in the dark. What is Discord? What do you mean? What is that?
Discord. Yes, Discord. Discord is Discord. You know what Discord is, right?
I do not.
What?
Educate me. That's why we're here. What? Educate me. I don't know. Tell me.
Well, Discord is basically a huge group chat app that allows you to talk to your friends simultaneously. It's like, it's orchestrated for video games, but it's basically anything you want. I know some of you guys are on there. I know some of y'all are on there. Y'all are responding.
All right. So I'm understanding. So you were on Discord.
Yeah. Yeah. Just introducing myself because
someone said I'm living in the Stone Age. I can't even worry.
No, it's okay. Hey, don't feel bad. I feel just in the Stone Age as well. I don't know.
So you were on there, and then
and I had to introduce myself, and basically just rehashing everything I said. But basically, I'm just, like I said in the last part of my synopsis, my introductory synopsis. I'm just that kid that likes to draw in the corner and draws dragons and anime.
Right.
I'm to myself, and I just like to be in the company of really cool people. That's really it. But to kind of elaborate who I am, I'm just I don't even know.
The main thing that you love to do, which I think you've covered, but the main thing that you really love to do is fill in the blank. So main thing that you really are passionate about, then we can reword that, rephrase it.
Video game art. I would say. Yeah, that's basically the bread and butter of what I live and breathe in. Like, that's what keeps me going. Honestly, it was I got serious into drawing in the first place. Was because of that, and It started with my dad. My dad
Okay.
was the one that really influenced me the most.
Yeah, that was coming up, was where the motivation comes from, who encourages you. So your father.
Yeah, my father
All right.
was a huge help to me because he was a comic artist. And when I
Oh,
was
that's
around,
beautiful.
he's a great guy. Shouts out to my dad. I love you, Dad.
Yes, yes, most definitely.
But he was the one that kind of got me into drawing really at like 5 years old. And
Nice.
yeah, I just kind of, me and him were just competing.
Okay, all right.
Just
Yeah,
to make the long story short.
most definitely some healthy competition.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
We're not very competitive people.
Right, but just
That's
some
just,
back and forth, and
yeah, it's not in our nature to be that way, but it was just like, like, I'll do this, I'll draw this.
Okay, right.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, let's yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right, nice. So, as like when you were starting to draw, what was your medium of choice? Were you using pencils, color pencils, paint? Did it evolve? How did we get to this point? As far as you're like digitally illustrating.
It was predominantly like paper and pen.
Oh, pen. Okay.
The normal answer to this, generally, a lot of artists would say paper and pencil, but I'm a pen guy.
Ink.
I like using ink because ink already kind of solidifies. You can't erase ink.
I'd always say that pen and marker, unforgivable, but but to me, when you ever do a drawing practice of any kind where you put the pen or a marker down and you don't pick it up, but you draw yourself. I love that because you see every bit of the process. It's all there. So, all right, okay, very cool. Did you ever do any presentations, any exhibits, anything like that, like in the high schoolish kind of middle school competition? Did things start to pick up where your classmates are noticing like, oh, he draws blah 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 blah? Like, did you ever experience anything like that?
All the time.
Okay. All right, I'm with it. Yeah. So give us an example. Like, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, I have stories. Basically, my art teacher loved me. All
right.
It got to a point. And shouts out to my middle school, but it got to a point where they had to remove me from just art competition in general. It's because I'm not bragging.
Is that what it is, Larry? You're just too much.
I'm just being real.
I'm right here with you.
Yeah, but honestly, it was because my dad was in the Air Force, and we were at the Philippines. And I'm half Filipino.
I am too. Yeah.
About you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll accept that. I will accept that.
You like adobo? That's the question. All right.
Fix me some. Come on, y'all. Know I'm hungry.
Okay. So anyway.
All right. Go ahead.
So it was the Philippines. I was there for about 4 years, and we moved. It was later than we moved into Japan. That was like a turning point for me because
I lived in Japan. Okay.
What is going on?
I just posted about it today.
Is this your interview?
Okay. Yes. Awesome. So you went. Did you say you went to Japan or you moved to Japan? You said
we moved to Japan.
Yeah. Oh, you moved to Japan. Where in Japan?
You're probably gonna Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, Okinawa. I was there. I'm just kidding. I was in Sasebo. I was in Sasebo, very south.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Cool. No. But it was when I started looking at like Dragon Ball and just anime because I it was just me and my dad were like, whoa, and I was like a Ninja Turtle master.
Oh.
You couldn't beat me in Ninja Turtles. Like I could outdraw anyone.
Okay.
Ninja Turtle at the time. I was big headed. You know, I had a serious ego issue when I was young. But it was when I went to Japan that I was like, I'm not even anywhere near the level of these guys. And that was when
something that make you want a next level with your doing.
It was just like motivation, like just the art influences and cultures. It wasn't just Dragon Ball. It was like a lot of anime and at the time, and it was just like it moved me a lot. And
the culture is it's its own. It is its own culture. It is beautiful. Yeah. It's inspiring in so many ways. Like, I mean, even when I went to like museums to see ancient pottery and things, I mean, you could just, there's just so many ways to pull inspiration from the art and the culture out there. So, all right, nice. Wait, and so how long were you in Japan?
About 5 years.
5 years. Woo, okay. All right. I wasn't out there that long. I was out there like a year and a half. So, but I loved it. I had a blast. Okay. All right. Very cool. So I want to look at your page here. And you are out in Texas. I'm just reading off of your bio a little bit here.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And you've been in Texas how long?
I've been to Texas for 16 years.
1-6?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all ain't playing. Okay.
No.
Have you marked it as home, or are you one of those?
Yeah, it's home. It's
okay, because sometimes people they're like, you know, they call off some other place that's home, but then they've been where they're at for like 45 years, and they're like, well, I guess I'll call it home. Okay, so you have marked that as home. Now, I am also noticing you have a YouTube channel here. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, that's. I'm passionate about art, but I'm also passionate about gaming as well.
Okay.
I'm a huge gamer.
So, do you own like multiple systems, or are you on one system? You have a lot of different games, multiple ones. Do you have the Nintendo Switch?
Yes, ma'am. I do. Yeah.
I do. I just got it. I love it. But I like games that are very relaxing. You know, like puzzles and happy kind of feel to it. So
yes,
I
feel you.
Yoshi.
I feel you.
And,
yes.
Like that's what I have. So what do you have for Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
What do you have for Nintendo Switch then?
I have FF8, Final Fantasy 8. That's my favorite Final Fantasy.
I heard that's really good. Okay, that's a really good game.
Yeah, that's a very not very popular game, but I tend to like very misunderstood games. I have Smash. Who doesn't have Smash?
Yeah, someone's noting that too. They also thought I was going to challenge you. I don't mind.
Hey,
I don't mind challenging.
Hey, after this, let's exchange friend codes.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Wait, you could do what?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh, there goes your Ninja Turtle cup. Somebody said you.
Yeah. Shouts out. Yeah. Somebody was like, yo, is that a placement? I'm like, come on.
You know what? My sister can vouch for me. I used to love Ninja Turtles, like hardcore.
Okay.
Like I have a poster or bed sheets or something, and it was pink and it had all of the Ninja Turtles and everything. Oh my gosh, that was a memory I hadn't thought about in a minute. Okay, wait a minute. You said a friend code for the Switch?
Yeah.
This I didn't know.
What?
You're gonna have to tell me about this, and nobody make any comments about me not knowing
what?
About the friend code. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew you could play with another person, but I mean, I didn't know.
Yeah.
This is next level stuff. Okay, first the whole Filipino thing, and then the Japan, and then now. Okay, the game.
Sister, I'm here for you. I will help you.
I appreciate that. Look, in advance. I was just playing it before we got on the live. So, okay, what program do you use for your designs? And while you're talking, I'm going to share some of your art with people just in case they haven't looked. So, what kind of programs do you use? It's just for folks to see.
I use a plethora of programs. Procreate was one that I used for my iPad, and that was
Procreate. I like Procreate.
I remember drawing on an iPad was very unorthodox at the time, but you know, my dad was always like, "This is the future. Like you got to stop drawing paper and pencil."
Oh, he
You know?
encouraged you. He encouraged you
Yeah.
to evolve from.
Yeah, I was a naturalist. In my younger days, I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm not gonna do any pure art stuff. I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. You know.
Okay. All right.
I kind of stuck to that, but then once I started getting into like some of the iPad kind of mode of work,
Right. A lot of digital.
it just seemed more seamless. It was on the go. I can take it anywhere I went. It was just like a very comfortable tool for me. It was hard at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so hard because it was just it's change. Like some of us are not as oriented to change as much.
True.
And so there were things that my dad too. He used to talk about things that were just back then because he used to be a comic artist. And
right.
He was telling me one time, he was like, because he was a comic book lover back in the day. He used to look up to like Jim Lee, Joe Madura back in the 90s. And
curious.
Yeah, these guys were way ahead of their league as far as the technicality of their art. But he was like, hey, how about this? How about
this is your father?
Yeah. He was like, Larry, check this out, brother. Hey man, what if we drew all the poses, all the faces, all the expressions for one character, okay? If we have a series or a title or a comic book and we're reusing and redrawing it over and over again, why in the world are we redrawing it over and over again when we can have a library of or a collection of images? And so in my mind, I'm like, what? Like, no.
My thoughts exactly. I'm like,
no, I will do it. No, Father, I will do it the old-fashioned way, Father. And so it was later on. Funny thing, it was later on that I was like, whoa, he was right. He was absolutely right, because not only is it smarter, but it you produce faster. And so I'm kind of segueing into my process, because my process is very unorthodox, and I know it's unorthodox, but I believe that every artist has a process, and if that process works for you, great.
Stick with it. Yeah, stick with whatever works for you. And if it's time, or when it feels like it's time to evolve and change, then you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
And so yes, to answer some people's questions, I do use 3D. I do. Okay. The thing is that I model everything myself. It's all me. I have, and to go all the way back to what I said before,
jeez,
you know, with all of the experiences that I've had, you know, like I don't remember if I said anything about interior design, but I was really involved with interior design, and I was really involved with like 3D modeling, and I was curious. I didn't know anything, but to this day, he's a good friend of mine. He asked me to do a lot of interior designs, and I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. Right. But when I stepped into it, it was just like, okay. Yeah, I adapted to it.
You just adapted.
Yeah, I adapted to it. And
I get it. Like, trust. I understand that. So I understand that life. So yeah, just take my word.
So all that said, and I don't mean to get too deep into this. This
that's fine.
This whole thing merits a whole video.
You good?
I don't want people to think that I'm cheating or anything like that, or that I'm not authentic. That's not true at all. Right. I just believe in working smarter. I don't really believe in working harder.
Right.
I just want to produce more. I want to be able to be more creative and put out more bodies of work more than the average person.
There you go. Yeah, and I want to squeeze this in here too, that you can't be too, and I don't know if you are, concerned at all, but when it comes to you being your authentic self, I feel like if anyone has any room for criticism, negative criticism, then they need to work on themselves more. Okay, they got to work on themselves more, and just go do you. Be as authentic as you could be.
Yeah.
And roll with it. But yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a lot of respect for that. Your process.
I enjoy it.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
That is all that matters.
You're right.
Well, what about the transition from traditional to digital? Because I like Procreate for the wonderful and amazing things that can happen.
Yeah.
But this is collecting dust for me right now because it's super smooth, and I know that there's a some kind of like a screen thing that you can put on it to give it a little bit of traction, because it's just too slippery to me. Do you use something that is like a protective thing, or you don't?
What kind of pencil is that? Let me see.
Oh, I mean, it's the Apple pencil.
Okay, so that's the newest one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's I feel like I need traction, or maybe it's the change. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's just the change. But the change. Do you use anything? Somebody said vanilla lumpia. I can't. So
hey, shouts out to that. Hey, I'm up for a lumpia. Hit me up.
Okay. Oh wait, but you don't use anything. You don't use protective anything.
No, absolutely not. Mm-mm. No.
No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just the psychological part of it, where it's just really slick, and I'm looking for that traction feel, but it may not even make a difference. So, okay.
The more you use it, the more it'll be more comfortable for you.
Okay. I believe it. It's change. It's change, And I'm digital. I am. But I use, somebody way early in the comments said the Wacom tablet. That was my go-to. Do you say Wacom? Tomato, okay, because I used to, I said Wacom, and then someone said Wacom, and I'm like, which one? I mean, what? So, what do you say? You say Wacom?
No, it's Wacom, but hey, you call it whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine.
All these years.
No worries.
And I've never heard it that way.
No worries.
Never heard it as Wacom.
No worries.
You know what? That's okay. You can get your laugh on. That's fine, because once we do the look, I can't even remember. It's like, what did you call it? Like a game, the game exchange thing, the friend
Discord?
code.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's on. I'm gonna let you get your laughs in and everything, but
I think it's hilarious. Honestly, I think it's hilarious, but no, it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Well, I used to use that.
Yeah.
And when I used the stylus for the tablet and everything, I could change the tip of it. Okay, so there was one that did have traction. So even being a digital artist, I was still used to a certain feel. So I don't have that feel with just the pencil and using my iPad. Right. But anyway, it's still changed. It's just changed. That's all. Mm-hmm. I'll get over it. Okay, so I see we have 6 questions in the queue. We're gonna jump right into some Q&A from our viewers. Now, the cool thing, I will have you know, Larry, if you may know some of this, you may not, but I will just share it with you. And now we got 7 questions. All right, I'll share this with you, that they load these questions in the queue, and then I select which ones we actually discuss. Okay, so it just depends on your feedback, how long it takes you to respond, and sometimes we just won't get through all the questions, but we'll try to get like 3 in. Okay, right. So let's look at these questions here. All right, we got some people that are just sending emojis and saying hi. Okay, let's get this one. What music? Oh, okay, let's use this one right here. What music artists or artists have been your inspiration? That's from Alal Gnosis. Mm-hmm. Okay, good question. A lot of artists. Okay, so just give us a couple, maybe. 2 of them. Stand out. 2 of them.
I will say two artists that do the most for me is Kinu Nishimura, and she is one of the
please help me. School me
look
on
her
it.
up if you guys know who that is. She is an amazing artist.
I understand that.
So,
I understand that life. So yeah, just take my word.
So all that said, and I don't mean to get too deep. These guys were way ahead of their league as far as the technicality of their art. But he was like, "Hey, how about this? How about
this is your father?"
Yeah. He was like, "Larry, check this out, brother. Hey, man, what if we drew all the poses, all the faces, all the expressions for one character, okay? If we have a series or a title or a comic book, and we're reusing and we're redrawing it over and over again, why in the world are we redrawing it over and over again when we can have a library of or a collection of images?" And so in my mind, I'm like, what? Like, no.
My thoughts exactly. I'm like,
no, I will do it. No, Father, I will do it the old-fashioned way, Father. And so it was later on. Funny thing, it was later on that I was like, whoa, he was right. He was absolutely right, because not only is it smarter, but it you produce faster. And so I'm kind of segueing into my process, because my process is very unorthodox, and I know it's unorthodox, but I believe that every artist has a process, and if that process works for you, great.
Stick with it. Yeah, stick with whatever works for you. And if it's time, or when it feels like it's time to evolve and change, then you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
And so yes, to answer some people's questions, I do use 3D. I do. The thing is that I model everything myself. It's all me. I have, and to go all the way back to what I said before,
jeez,
with all of the experiences that I've had, you know, like I don't remember if I said anything about interior design, but I was really involved with interior design, and I was really involved with like 3D modeling, and I was curious. I didn't know anything, but to this day, he's a good friend of mine. He asked me to do a lot of interior designs, and I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. But when I stepped into it, it was just like, okay. Yeah, I adapted to it.
You just adapted.
Yeah, I adapted to it. And
I get it. Like, trust. I understand that.
So,
I understand that life. So yeah, just take my word.
So all that said, and I don't mean to get too deep into this. This
that's fine.
This whole thing merits a whole video.
You're good.
I don't want people to think that I'm cheating or anything like that, or that I'm not authentic. That's not true at all. I just believe in working smarter. I don't really believe in working harder. I just want to produce more. I want to be able to be more creative and put out more bodies of work, more than the average person.
There you go. Yeah, and you know, I want to squeeze this in here too, that you can't be too, and I don't know if you are, you know, concerned at all, but when it comes to you being your authentic self, I feel like if anyone has any room for criticism, negative criticism, then they need to work on themselves more. Okay, they got to work on themselves more, and you know, just go do you. You know, be as authentic as you could be.
Yeah.
And roll with it. But yeah, absolutely. Well, I have a lot of respect for that. Your process.
I enjoy it.
And that's what matters.
Yeah.
That is all that matters.
You're right.
Well, what about the transition from traditional to digital? Because I like Procreate for the wonderful and amazing things that can happen.
Yeah.
But this is collecting dust for me right now because it's super smooth, and I know that there's a some kind of like a screen thing that you can put on it to give it a little bit of traction, because it's just too slippery to me. Do you use something that is like a protective thing, or you don't?
What kind of pencil is that? Let me see.
Oh, I mean, it's the Apple Pencil.
Okay, so that's the newest one. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it's, you know, I feel like I need traction, or maybe it's the change. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's just the change.
It's
but
the change.
Do you use anything? Somebody said vanilla lumpia. I can't. So
hey, shouts out to that. Hey, I'm up for lumpia. Hit me up.
Okay. Oh wait, but you don't use anything. You don't use protective anything.
No, absolutely not. No.
No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just the psychological part of it, where it's just really slick, and I'm looking for that traction feel, you know. Yeah. But it may not even make a difference. So okay.
The more you use it, the more it'll be more comfortable for you.
Okay, I believe it. It's change. It's change, you know. And I'm digital. I am, but I use, somebody way early in the comments said the Wacom tablet. That was my go-to. Do you say Wacom? Tomato, okay, because I used to, I said Wacom, and then someone said Wacom, and I'm like, which one? I mean, what? So, what do you say? You say Wacom?
No, it's Wacom, but hey, you call it whatever you want. It's fine. It's fine.
All these years.
No worries.
And I've never heard it that way.
No worries.
Never heard it as Wacom.
No worries.
You know what? That's okay. You can get your laugh on. That's fine, because once we do the look, I can't even remember. It's like, what did you call it? Like a game, the game exchange thing, the friend code.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, it's on. I'm gonna let you get your laughs in and everything, but
I think it's hilarious. Honestly, I think it's hilarious, but no, it's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Well, I used to use that. Yeah. And when I used the stylus for the tablet and everything, I could change the tip of it. Okay, so there was one that did have traction. So even being a digital artist, I was still used to a certain feel. So I don't have that feel with just the pencil and using my iPad. Right. But anyway, it's still changed. It's just changed. That's all. Mm-hmm. I'll get over it. Okay, so I see we have 6 questions in the queue. We're gonna jump right into some Q&A from our viewers. Now, the cool thing, I will have you know, Larry, if you may know some of this, you may not, but I will just share it with you. Now we got 7 questions. All right, I'll share this with you, that they load these questions in the queue, and then I select which ones we actually discuss. Okay, so it just depends on your feedback, how long it takes you to respond, and sometimes we just won't get through all the questions, but we'll try to get like 3 in. Okay, right. So let's look at these questions here. All right, we got some people that are just sending emojis and saying hi. Okay, let's get this one. What music? Oh, okay, let's use this one right here. What music artists or artists have been your inspiration? That's from Alal Gnosis. Mm-hmm. Okay, good question. A lot of artists. Okay, so just give us a couple, maybe.
Two of them. I will say 2 artists that do the most for me is Kinu Nishimura, and she is one of the
please help me.
Look her up if you guys know who that is. She is an amazing artist, an amazing Capcom legend. She used to draw some of the Street Fighter 3 artwork from the 90s. She used to draw SNK versus Capcom.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
She did some of some anime designs back in the day. She is, and I didn't even know it was a woman until later, because I was just like blown away by her use of figure work. Just
I got you.
A lot of the times, a lot of people ask me like, what do you recommend you do? Like, what is what would you want to practice on? And I would say form. You have to practice form.
Woo, that's a challenge. That's always been a challenge for me.
If you practice on form, the function will follow. It's like, the old saying, form follows function. If you just practice on building and making the form correct, you can make it really weird and scribble it, but as long as that form is there, you're golden. You just practice form. But anyway,
you got that from her work, where you saw that strong,
a complete master of form, figure drawing, anatomy. That was when I started to learn a little bit more of the craft. Because she, and obviously, shouts out to Bengus. If you guys know who these guys are, just
drop it in the drop a comment.
Bengus, Akiman, Edion, Aquino, the Capcom greats. If y'all know who I'm talking about,
okay, all right. You know what I really appreciate, and I got this from my last interview with Art Kid Kuda, is the knowledge, the history, the homework, the research. There's, depending on which way you want to go or whatever your goal is, but man, if you do your homework, do your research, and study different things in general, just depending on what it is, your goal is, I mean, that's powerful. It's very powerful. I mean, so I think that's great. And again, much respect.
Yes. You're right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yoshikawa too.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yay. Y'all are responding. Okay.
And I don't mean to rabbit trail, but Tetsuya.
No, that's okay.
Hey, Tetsuya Nomura is my guy. So basically, my style is basically meshing all of those into like one.
And having your own.
Yeah.
Essentially, right? It's like taking the ingredients and you just make it your own recipe.
Yep.
That's it. All right, cool. We got another question that popped in the queue, so we've got like 8 now. But okay, let me go back here. Ooh, all right. Let's see. We'll ask this one. Who's your favorite TMNT character?
Is
there really a favorite though? I just don't think that I would be able to narrow it down to one. But who's yours?
They're all amazing.
They're all amazing. I'm right there with you. I really am.
I would pick Leo, but you know what Leo would say? I love all my brothers. Yeah.
Well, what?
He would say I love all my brothers. I don't have favorites.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So,
Master Splinter would say the same thing. I have no favorite sons. I love them all.
All right, let's see. I'm browsing through. Let's ask one more. What is your message to your future self? What is it? From Alal Gnosis again. All right, your message to your future self, Larry. What's good? Talk to him.
Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid, man. Like, educate yourself. Knowledge is power.
Your future self.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say, like, not be so uninformed on certain things. I feel like as artists, sometimes we are taken advantage of, and I think through our experiences we learn, and so just don't. Yeah. Don't. Obviously, you learn from making mistakes, but just learn and grow.
Got you. All right. I'm with it. That looked like that resonate with you in ways. So I felt that. All right. Okay. Nice. Gracious. Woo. I'm so glad our viewers are popping all kinds of questions in there. But I'm going to browse because we got 2 more that are in there, and I'm going to see what those 2 are. Okay, woof, this is a nice little list here. Okay, there are more emojis, a wink. Okay, let me look at this one. Complete the sentence. Oh.
Oh boy. Oh All right.
Okay, now I thought that it came with a sentence, but that's okay because I'm going to save some of this interesting feedback that you would have for the game that we are going to play in a moment. So thank you for giving us all that information on, you know, your experience, the contents on your page, a lot of really powerful stuff. So that's much appreciated, and for answering the questions from our viewers. Hey, hey. Okay, so with that being said, I will ask, you have any questions for me? Onesie, a twosie, anything. Going once, going twice.
I do. I know you draw.
Okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
You do. Mm-hmm. But what are your other things that you enjoy doing besides drawing?
That's the thing about me. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I love so many forms of expression. I mean, I have tried so many and I loved all of it. Let me see. I love photography. That's a thing. I love the traditional kind of photography, the dark room and all of that. Okay. The chemicals and inhaling all of it. I love drawing using charcoal. I just had that memory. I used to do that in college. Getting on the wheel and doing ceramics, man, just so many. And then on top of that, performance art too, because growing up I used to sing. So in high school I joined the drama club, and it was only like 3 of us, but it was awesome. So I just love just creative expression, period.
Yeah. Painting,
but I love watercolor the most, and that's what has led me, I feel, to this point currently, because I just know a lot of things when it comes to art. You know, I mean, I have certain favorite, mediums, but I just love it. I love visual and performance art all day, every day.
I sense that you have good energy. You're very good. You're just you attract good energy. So, what about singing? Do you sing at all? You sing?
Oh, not currently. No, I karaoke like nobody's business.
Okay.
And when I was in Japan, I won a karaoke contest. Like, it was, I loved it. I do love to sing. I do love to sing, yes. But it's not something, like I focus on or anything like that, But growing up, it was, so I was in chorus, and, we trained after school and all of that. It's great. I love it. And I'm good. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm really good. When I would karaoke, I would target a couple of people in the audience, and I would serenade them. And I would sing Beyonce's Drunk in Love, and it would be, one of those really interesting and fun moments. but I loved it. I would always find somebody and say, who's going to be my Jay-Z for the night? And, so then I'd like encourage them to do the rap part, and then they would always mess up, and I'd say, never mind.
Right.
But anyway, yeah. I sing for fun. I sing for fun. So, yeah. All right, cool. Good questions. Had me opening up some memories there. Okay, so we are going to round it out now with a word game. And I say word game, but sometimes it'll either be, because now that we've opened up Q&A, that adds on, a little more time. That's well needed, okay? But it'll either be a word game or some questions that are just intriguing to open up the mind of Larry. Now, someone said Larold. Is that true? Is that like your government name, like your birthday?
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that is.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's a nice name. I was just wondering, I was like, did they just make that up or something? But everyone's throwing those Filipino flags out there too.
Yeah, shout out to the Filipino people out here.
Yes. Yeah, those are some of my teammates there for RTA, Respect to Artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, they represent up here, okay?
Karaoke's a Filipino pastime. Heck yeah.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 3 questions for you. 3, okay? I'm so interested in hearing the answers for these. So are you ready? All right? The only rule is just answer. The only rule is that you just have to answer the question. And if, which I don't predict you're going to feel weird or anything, then we can always move on. But they are questions just for fun, okay? So you're not being timed. All right, I don't have a stopwatch. All right, first question. If Beyonce was a drink, what drink would she be? Go.
Chocolate milk.
She'd be okay. I thought you were gonna say lemonade because her album was Lemonade. It would have been perfect, right?
I think you're better at this game than I am. Oh man.
I actually thought about that after I wrote that question down, and I was like, oh, you probably say lemonade. But okay, you say chocolate milk. Why? Why chocolate milk?
That was the first word that popped.
It was just the first thing. It was just the first natural answer.
Yeah. Queen Bee is awesome. I love
yes.
Beyonce.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about an artist? Jeez.
Yeah. She exemplifies black, just black excellence. Honestly. Not just
history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Serious. Like every time she comes across my feed or anything, I just think movement. That word just comes to mind. She's her own category. But okay, cool. So in the case of the drink, she would be chocolate milk. Got you. So
I'll remember that lemonade one.
No right or wrong, right? No right or wrong.
Right.
Freestyle here.
Right.
All right. So everyone's dropping the B's or dropping B emojis. Okay. If Rihanna were a donut.
Okay.
A donut, yes. Okay. What would she look like? Okay. Like, what would the Rihanna donut look like? You go to a donut shop and they have one called the Rihanna. Okay.
Man.
What is this donut? What does it look like?
Just ultimate.
And what is the flavor?
Oh my gosh. Ultimate bling. It has to be like the shiniest icing
Bling,
you could
sparkle,
find.
Sparkle,
Oh yeah. Cover that up with gold sugar. Have that thing glow in the dark. Oh my gosh, like the bad girl Riri donuts. Oh my gosh, yeah, just sprinkle dust, shiny, golden. Sugar cream donut.
Fancy beauty and all kinds of stuff.
Oh yes.
So with that look, what would the flavor be though? What would the Rihanna donut flavor be?
Man.
So it doesn't have bacon. We got that. So it's not a bacon sprinkled donut.
Right.
Okay. All right.
No
so,
bacon.
So is it Boston cream? Does it just taste like regular glaze, but it looks really blingy? It's
wow.
He said bad girl Riri. Okay. All right. So yeah, what would the flavor be? The Rihanna donut.
Rihanna donut. Boston cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Acceptable. It wouldn't be jelly filled. So. Okay. All right. So here's your final question. You are too funny. All right. If Drake.
Okay.
No, we're not talking about if Drake were a drink. We're not going there for Drake. Okay. So if Drake.
Yeah.
If Drake asked you for some motivation and inspiration, what would you tell him? He said, look, Larold, we got to talk. It's like, hey, Larry, yo, let me holler at you, man. Like, step in the Maybach. All right. I've been having a rough patch, man. And, I follow you on IG and everything, so I love your work, but, like, I need some motivation, man. So what would you say? What would you tell the classic name Drizzy? What would you tell Drake?
I don't know. Honestly, I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like,
I cannot with you. He said, I don't even know.
I don't know.
Look, you pull up your IG and you're like, I hope this inspires you. Because I can't. I ain't got nothing for you, man. But I'm gonna show you some work.
Yeah. I don't. Let me show you.
Wait, so you don't know. So you honestly don't know. That's okay. But
I don't. Yeah. well, what's your favorite video game character? I'll draw it for you. No.
He's like, I know what he was saying. He said, what?
Oh,
I'm trying to get inspired. Larry, what you mean?
I don't know, man. The only thing I would say is it's like, because I love Drake. Drake is like my brother almost. But,
yes, I know it, right?
But I would say, man, just stop hanging around crazy women. That's all, man. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying, oh man. I'm saying this out of the intent of just
support.
Support.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right.
Know?
It's like just be like, mindful of your company or something.
I can't imagine like him because I don't know if he's around a lot of genuine people that really care for him. And I think that's a very small circle for him. So whenever people want to be like attached to him. And this is just my opinion.
Right.
It's like
that's fine.
They're using him for something, and then whenever he gets, taken advantage of sorts, he writes about it and he makes a song about it, and we all can be like, "Wow, like such a great song," but like, oh,
right. Understood. So in the meantime, we'll just you'd probably keep it. You'd probably say, look, this, like, you need to redirect your focus. Here's an example of how you can do that. Okay. But yeah. Okay. All right. I got you. I got you.
I don't think you would ever ask me for advice or anything like that.
Right.
But in the event that he would, I'd be like, if you want to play Fortnite or something like that. I don't know.
This is why I rock with you, Larry. This is exactly why I rock with you. All right, so we're gonna close it out with one more thing before I finish, and then we wrap up the interview. Do you have an artist that you want to give a shout out to, and perhaps someone you'd like to see interviewed? Anyone in particular?
That is a great question. I would say. If Steve is in here, Steve Mack, Ken Doken, he is one of my favorite artists. And
all right, that's beautiful.
Every time I see his work, it just makes me happy.
Is it uplifting? Yeah, that's the thing, and I'm right there with you. Shout out to him also. And after our interview, if you would DM me, his username, then I can check out his stuff most definitely. But I'm right there with you, Larry, because that's how I feel when I see just work that I identify with. It just lifts me. I just feel good. So it could be whether it's on Instagram or like I was just at the art museum today. I do some volunteering there. So when I go there, I just have moments where, it's kind of hard to put into words, but I understand where you're coming from. You just feel lifted, So, all right. Well, I'm interested in checking out his page, most definitely.
He is like I always joke around because he's like Ryu. He's like Ryu, and I'm Ken. Whereas I like to flaunt and show off, and Steve is he's very pure. Like he's a very pure figure artist. And not only does he draw like my favorite artist of all time, he draws great art. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm welcome to check it out. Most definitely.
He would be a blast to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with that. And that's always nice. That's always nice when you can vibe back and forth. Kind of like what we've been doing, which is really good. And so I'm with that. Most definitely. We have like 18 things in common. And also remember to send me or school me on this whole friend code thing.
Yes.
That too.
No worries.
Okay, cool. So all right. Thank you so much for joining us and dedicating some time to hang out with us, Larry.
Thank you.
AKA L Dob. That's just my pronunciation. And shout out to all the wonderful viewers. Thank you so much for jumping on and posing all of these wonderful questions. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Alrighty, so peace, Larry. I'm going to close your call out from this side, okay?
Okay.
All right, so we'll be vibing more soon. Thank you so much. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks, y'all, for tuning in to the IG Live with Larry, aka L Dobb. Make sure you follow him on IG. Check him out too on YouTube. The link is in his bio. Remember, click the link on YouTube in my bio so you will be notified. Subscribe to be notified, all right? See the full interview. IG only holds 15 minutes, so see the whole interview on YouTube, all right? RTA stands for Respect the Artist. You already know. Love y'all.